Rabaul isn't just a destination, it's a chapter of Papua New Guinea's history. So when the country turned 50, this is where the story came alive. So I flew from Port Moresby to my hometown in Rabaul. I had no idea what I was about to witness, but I knew it was going to be big. What followed was something I'll never forget. Join me in East Riverton as Papua New Guinea marks 50 years of independence in a way few ever get to see. From the flags lining the streets of Port Moresby to Tubuans dancing by the shore with volcanoes behind them to the vibrant colors of the Frangipani Festival in Rabaul, this is not just a celebration. It's a story of identity, culture, history, and pride. From the beginning, I had good vibes about the 50th independence celebrations in Rabaul. It all started with the flight home from Port Moresby. No flight delays, the cappuccino was perfect, frothy with a swirl of cream, dusted with cocoa powder, and a sky so clear it felt like the perfect day for flying. The moment Rabaul came into view, the pilot gave us a full 360-degree sweeping view of all the famous landmarks below. Simpson Harbour, the beehives, the volcanoes. Seeing it all at once, I just knew this 50th independence celebration was going to be special. I got home 2 days before Independence Day, and already East Riverton was alive with flags, colors, and excitement. I headed straight home to the village where the air is cool and fresh. I couldn't wait to check my gardens. Back in January, before flying to Port Moresby, I had planted some bananas. Now, months later, one of them was finally ready for harvest, and that made me happy. The next day, my kids and I went to the main fresh food market in Kokopo. We got there early, but the streets were already buzzing with excitement, giving us a taste of what to expect at tomorrow's Frangipani Festival. We were in town to buy some food for our cut lunch, something we'd prepare and take with us for the Independence Day celebrations in Rabaul the next day. We took our time strolling through the market, stopping to admire the Independence Day themed arts and crafts on display. Red, black and gold everywhere. Flags, hand-woven pieces, small details made with so much pride. After that, we picked up some food wrapped in banana leaves and found a spot on the market benches to sit and eat.
Okay, where do we sit and eat? Somebody go and get our cooler. Or do you guys want to sit here on that side? Yeah, there's space on the other side.
The Frangipanis were in full bloom, the sun was gentle. It wasn't a hot day today. It was one of those days that felt simple and beautiful all at once. Tomorrow, the plan was to join the Independence Day celebrations in Rabaul and also witness a traditional event I had never seen before. Papua New Guinea celebrates 50 years of independence today. Half a century of history, struggle, and strength. Today would be spent mostly in Rabaul, and I didn't want to stress about food for the kids, so we woke up early and prepared our lunch, packed our cold drinks, water, and fruits, and before 5 a.m., we headed off to Rabaul town, about 45 minutes from our home at Rabat. Even though it was still early, we passed by many people already out and about, decked in the PNG colors. I think many of them were also heading to Rabaul for the celebrations. In some villages, sporting events and church activities were taking place in the community churchyards. Everyone seemed to be celebrating in their own way, and it was such a nice sight to see. A mix of energy, pride, and community spirit. I was especially excited to witness a traditional event called the Kinovi. I grew up in the 80s and 90s in the old Rabaul town before the volcanoes erupted in 1994, and also in Kokopo when it wasn't as busy and bustling as today. Yet in all these years, I had never seen a Kinovi ceremony. I guess I had just taken it for granted that being from East Riverton meant I'd see one eventually. This time, I made sure I didn't miss it. My first Kinovi on PNG's 50th Independence Day. I'll explain more on the Kinovi later on in the video. We arrived in Rabaul. Rabaul is a place that always takes me back in time. A quick backstory: Rabaul used to be the provincial capital of East Riverton and was a center of administration and commerce until the two volcanoes, Tavurvur and Vulcan, erupted in 1994 and destroyed much of the town. It was a beautiful town, nestled in a caldera, and was referred to as the Pearl of the Pacific. When I try to tell my kids about the town, which they only see in their remains today, words never seem enough. I describe the little cafes, the old cinema, the Bali chain of stores with white shops along Mango Avenue, which was a main street, like the shoe shop and the chemist where I got my ears pierced for the first time and bought my first camera for 19 kina, a Kodak 110 with the film roll, you know, the kind you load yourself, the one that makes you really think about every shot because you don't want to waste your film. After the eruptions, the provincial capital was moved to Kokopo. We arrived at Rapindik, at the foot of the Tavurvur volcano, just before 6 a.m. where the day's celebrations were about to begin. Rapindik was the birthplace of Papua New Guinea's first Prime Minister and founding father, Sir Michael Somare. The 50th independence celebrations this morning carried deep historical significance. This wasn't just a ceremony. 50 years of Papua New Guinea's independence, and we stood on the very ground where the country's first Prime Minister, the leader who led us to independence, was born. Rabaul gave birth to a nation, so to speak, and today we paid tribute to history and our founding fathers. The Somare Memorial Birth Site, which also features a monument, was recently built here in his honor, a space dedicated to preserving Sir Michael Somare's legacy and the story of Papua New Guinea's beginnings. We arrived just in time for the Kinovi. So what's a Kinovi? A Kinovi is a traditional Tolai ceremonial event that takes place at dawn and involves cultural mass figures called tubuns being paddled on canoes to the shore where they perform sacred dances. A Kinovi often precedes significant traditional events, and today it was special. For the tubuns to come ashore here at Sir Michael Somare's birthplace carried a deep meaning of respect, acknowledging the birth of a nation. From where we stood, we could see about 4 canoes out in the Simpson Harbour, tubuans singing and dancing on the canoes as they move slowly into the caldera. Along the shoreline, more men, many of them cultural leaders and clan leaders, waited for their arrival. When the canoes finally reached the shore, all the tubuans came together and danced. Women aren't allowed to go near tubuans, so my son took some footage for me on camera. I had just witnessed my first Kinovi. The flag raising also brought alive a lot of history. As the echoes of the tubuans' dance faded, attention shifted to the heart of the day, the flag raising ceremony. One of the 4 flag bearers who officially lowered the Australian flag at Sir Hubert Murray Stadium on Independence Eve in September 1975 graced us with his presence and was given the honor of raising the Papua New Guinea flag today at the country's 50th Independence Day. The crowd cheered as Sir Douglas Eramas Wuru from here in East Newbiton Province proudly marched forward to raise the flag. I took in the moment, a surviving flag bearer who pulled down the Australian flag, doing the exact opposite today after 50 years of independence, at the birthplace of the country's first Prime Minister with Tavurvur volcano in the background. I'm glad I came home for this. The choir also sang and speeches were delivered. After the formalities and the flag raising, we parked near Malaguna United Church, had something to eat, and then found a shady spot to watch the Frangipani Festival parade. It's so much fun watching the floats, each business house in East Newbiton putting their creativity on display and competing for different prizes. The Frangipani Festival is an annual event that celebrates Independence Day as well as commemorate the 1994 twin eruptions. After an awesome day, we slowly took the drive back home. It had been so much fun and an unforgettable day today. On PNG's 50th anniversary, I didn't just come home to celebrate, I came home to remember.